Hi, and welcome to D3 Virtual University. My name is Sean Button. I'm an implementation consultant for D3 Technologies, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about why Plant 3D. There are many reasons for using Plant for your piping designs, and today I'd like to cover a few of those with you and perhaps go a little bit more in detail with some of them to let you see exactly how you can use AutoCAD Plant 3D for your piping designs. One of the best reasons for using it is that it is AutoCAD. It does not run on top of AutoCAD. Many of the piping programs run on top of AutoCAD, but not Plant 3D. It is AutoCAD. Take a look at this screenshot. I have a couple of screenshots here, one from AutoCAD Plant 3D and one from regular AutoCAD. If you notice, they look very similar. If you look very closely, you can see some of maybe the parametric features of the project browser from the Plant 3D, but all in all, they look very much alike. You get to use all the same AutoCAD commands that you've used in the past. You can edit your drawings and models much the same way that you always have. If you're a keyboard person, you can enter in commands with the keyboard. You can use the ribbons. It does not matter. And any AutoCAD drawing may be open in Plant 3D because it is essentially AutoCAD. Now you also have a lot of grips that you can use to edit your drawings, especially the P&ID and the Plant 3D models, and your editing can be faster and easier than ever. You'll probably enjoy the way that you can use the parametrics to adjust your drawings. Let's take a look at some of these grips. You have grips that you can stretch line segments, you can lengthen them, or you can shorten them. You can make connections. You can form gaps in the line. You can flip components in an opposite direction. There's even a grip where you can take an existing part, such as a valve, and substitute it out for another part. Alright, let's take a look at some of the grip features that you have in the P&ID section of AutoCAD's Plant 3D. We'll take a look at the stretch feature right here. I'm going to go on to this drawing right here. I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit right here. We'll select this line right here, and you'll see this diamond shape right here, and that's our stretch grip. We can take that and we can move anything that we want orthogonally, and things are going to match up with it. Even if you move one over to the side, it'll actually add the pipe that you need automatically. For one like this, you probably want to make a turn like that. Very simple to do right there. Now, if you had a line that you wanted to stretch, let's go ahead and get us a little clean space right here, and we'll change our workspaces so we can get some P&ID lines. There we go. Anchor that in there and pick us a line. All right. If you need to stretch a line, you'll see these pluses, or if you want to shorten a line. It's very simple to use those as well. If you have a line that you do need to put a gap in, you can select the line, and then you can do an edit on that schematic line, and you can add the gap just by clicking where you want the gap, and you'll see the gap symbol that falls in right there. Now let's go ahead and add a part into well, actually, let's take a look at this and let's see what the substitution grip can do right here. You can substitute a part by using this drop down, and let's say that we want to change that to a check valve, and there you go. You've simply changed that. You also have a flip grip, as you can see the direction that the flow is going on this check valve. If you select it, you see this little arrow right here. There's your flip component, and you can switch your flow. So the grips really make things a lot easier. As we said before, it is AutoCAD, but it is AutoCAD on steroids as well. You have that parametric feature that fits in there. Now there are going to be situations where you're going to want to add symbols into your P&ID, and of course there's a whole library of symbols that come stock with your P&ID portion of Plant 3D, but maybe you have a person who needs something specific, something that you need to create on the fly, but you need it to be a P&ID symbol. Well, we can take care of that as well. To add a custom symbol into your P&ID, it's quite simple by using regular AutoCAD commands. Let's say we want to do a spherical tank and we started off with a circle. And we add ourselves a couple of lines here. And once we create what we want for our tank, then we can go ahead and select the object, convert to P&ID object, select where you want it to go. Under engineering items, we're going to choose equipment here. We're going to go to tanks and we'll call it a spherical vessel. And then all you need to do is insert a base point. I'll go ahead and have mine pick in the center. And now what you have is an object ready to be used in your P&ID drawings. You're always going to want to see things that you've imported through your data manager. This applies to P&ID as well as Plant. And your data manager is going to contain the data that you can see. You can modify it, you can send it out, you can bring information in. Data manager will always allow you to see the data that is behind the symbology that you're using. Creating custom parts in 3D is a breeze. You will be amazed at how simple it is to take parts, whether you copy them from other sheets that you have, but using things such as Inventor, using the predefined equipment that's in Plant 3D that you can modify, using primitives that you have in Plant 3D, being able to use regular AutoCAD to create parts, or even using AutoCAD meshing. And we'll take a look at a few of those. Alright, one way that we can use equipment in Plant 3D is that we can actually take it from Inventor. So if you've ever used Inventor, you know all the advantages of creating equipment with Inventor. But you can also make it smart so that you can use it within Plant 3D. And that's what we're going to take a quick look at right now. If you'll switch your tab in Inventor to where you go on to where it says Environments, you're going to see that there's a tool in the Begin panel that says BIM Exchange. When you go into the BIM Exchange, you'll see where you can actually add pipe connections. We can actually find, we're going to go ahead and find this circular connection right here. And if you notice, there's a green arrow right here. You can call that an inflow or an outflow. We'll go ahead and consider that one an outflow. And then I'll identify what type of system it is. And I'll just put that it's return on a hydronic. I'll apply that. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to identify that one right there. And I'm going to have it as supply, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change that right there. And I'm going to apply that in there. Then what we can do is we can export this building component. And what it's going to do is it's going to send it out as an ADSK file. And I'll just go ahead and give it a name and save it, and you'll see that it's going through the export process. Okay, so you may be asking, well, what you can go back into your let's go ahead into the Plant 3D model here. Let me put that where we can see it. And what we're going to do is we can bring it into the Plant 3D model now. So what we want to do is we want to be in our Home tab, and we want to find this tool that says Convert Inventor Equipment. And then what it's going to do is it's going to ask you for the ADSK file that you've created. I'll go down here and I'm going to find where I have my pressure vessel, and I'm going to go ahead and say open. It's going to ask me where I want to place it, at what angle would I like to place it. It's going to allow me to identify what type of equipment it is. I'll call it a vessel. And now we have a vessel which is within here. Okay, so now you can route pipe to it because it will recognize what type of pipe that you have. We'll go ahead and take a piece of 12-inch pipe and we will route it as you can see, it finds the size, and now you can route it in there. That last warning is basically just because I didn't have a specific spec set up for that piece. But that's how you can take a part from Inventor and bring it into Plant 3D. One way to create equipment in AutoCAD Plant 3D is to use some of the predefined equipment that you can modify within it. So to be able to do that, let's make sure that we're in our Home tab, and we'll take a look at this tool here that says Create in the Equipment panel. You have a tool called Create Equipment. When you push that in, let's pull this over a little bit like that. I have a lot of equipment here, and I'll go ahead and I'll choose this centrifugal pump. You'll see that it gives you information about it. We can go ahead and we can tag this piece of equipment. We'll give it a hit and call it 201. We'll assign a tag to that. And we can take a look at the properties that we have here. We can't change anything here, but we can view it. But when you come into the data here, if you wanted to put in who made this, you could put in the maker of the pump. Okay, now you can also use a template creation here if you wanted to set this as a template for future projects, and then you could load it in later. That's just another option that you have. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create this piece of equipment. We'll go ahead and find a spot near this vessel where we can drop it in and give it the proper rotation that we want. Alright, now if you notice, we can go over the nozzle on this piece of equipment. If you hover over the nozzle, it's going to give you information on it. If you click the nozzle, let's get it to where you can edit it. Alright, so if you want to change that to 6 inches, you can do that. If you need to change the pressure class, you could do that as well. Okay, you could also change the location of it if necessary. Let's go ahead and close that. Now, we can also, after we make changes there, we can modify equipment that we have, because you do have a tool here that says Modify Equipment. Select the equipment that you want to modify, and let's say that we wanted to change the length of this, and we wanted to change the width. Then we can go ahead and apply that, and you see we've changed the length and the width of the base. As well, you can also create your template from here as well. And that's how you drop in equipment using the predefined equipment templates that comes with Plant 3D. Another method of adding equipment into your Plant 3D model is to use some of the primitives that are already present in the Plant 3D program, and we can do that by going to our Create. We'll be in our Home tab, and we're going to go to Create Equipment. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick the one that says Vessel. Now we can go ahead and pick a horizontal vessel. And what we're going to do is we're going to create it here. We can edit what we want here. We can change this to possibly a tospheric head. So we'll remove the elliptical head and we'll add in the tospheric head. We can go here, remove that, and we'll put a tospheric head on there as well. We can go ahead and tag our vessel. We'll just put in a random number there and assign that into it. And right here we can also adjust the diameter and of course the height of our vessel as well. And as before, you could also save this as a template. Okay, let's go ahead and create this vessel. We'll go ahead and drop it in and rotate it to where we want this at. If we select that, we can add a nozzle to our tank. So we can go in here and we can pick what kind of nozzle that we want. We're going to locate it radially. We'll go ahead and change the height of that to 500. And let's go ahead and put that angle in. And let's shorten that up just a little bit. Okay. So now we have our nozzle here. Now, if you're not quite satisfied with the location of that nozzle, you can do a control click on here to edit. There's our editing pencil. Perhaps you want to change this to a vent nozzle or a bent nozzle here. And then we can also change our location of it. Right now it was at 90. Let's go ahead and change that to 45. And now you'll see it's changed to the other part of the tank. And that's one way that you can add in vessels using the sort of predefined primitive solids in Plant 3D. Let's take a look at using basic AutoCAD 3D modeling skills to add in to existing equipment or to actually create equipment in Plant 3D. We're going to do something very simple here, but it'll just be to illustrate the process. We're going to take a couple of boxes here, add them to this tank or vessel so that we can have it sitting on a saddle. So I'll just go ahead and keystroke in building a box here. Go ahead and sketch one in. And let's go ahead and give that just the height there. And we'll copy this one down. And let's take a look at that here. Alright, so now you see that your vessel is sitting on a saddle. And to go ahead and we'll make that as considered one piece of equipment, you have a tool up here that is called Attach Equipment. All you need to do is pick the existing piece of equipment, what you want to attach to it, and hit enter. And now it is all one piece of equipment. Let's convert some equipment using some regular AutoCAD meshing commands. We'll just jump into the mesh command there and we'll put ourselves a sphere in. Smooth that sphere out a bit. There we go. Alright, very good. Let's go ahead and change our view here. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and move this tank over. All right, great. Now that we have ourselves a spherical tank here, I'm not going to worry about putting legs on or anything right now. You know, you can add those things as well. But I will put a nozzle on there because a nozzle will be important to being able to add that, to have this as a functional part. Let's go ahead and draw ourselves a circle on here. And we'll go ahead and give this nozzle a radius, and we can extrude it down. Into the tank. Very good. All right, so now we have ourselves a large sphere with a nozzle on top, and what we need to do now is we need to bring this back in so that we can convert it into plant equipment. So we'll go to the convert equipment here and select all the parts. We'll call this a vessel, and we'll pick an insertion point. And we can give it a tag as well, so we'll just call this 101. We'll apply that in and say OK. Now whenever we select this, we can go ahead and add a nozzle to it. And let's go ahead and all right. And you can go ahead and add any information that you need to do once you add that in. And we'll go ahead and close that. And now you have a smart vessel which is ready to be piped. All right. Another thing that you can always count on is that AutoCAD Isometrics are not ISOGEN. The AutoCAD Isometrics are based on ISOGEN functionality, but the AutoCAD isometric interface is very unique, and it's also easy to customize. You can create the annotated and dimension isometric drawings based on your 3D models. You can easily generate reports that you can add to the drawings. You can use tables, and you can also get a bill of materials in there. You also have auto creation of 2D orthographic plans and sections, very important to most people. You're actually generating real 2D AutoCAD drawings from the model. You have annotation tools built in there, very intelligent annotation, and you don't need an object enabler for non-plant users to be able to view these. Your orthographic drawings are actually DWG files, and each one of them can contain multiple orthographic views. The data is actually taken from the plant 3D models, and the reports are added to the isometrics using the drawing tables. If the source models change, you can update the ortho drawings to reflect the changes. And the drawings have annotations, dimensions, match lines, gaps in the pipe, and you can also hide lines or objects. If you're a Vault user, good news, there's great integration with Vault here. The plant users have a simple, very simple Vault interface. It does not take much time to learn the Vault interface, and it allows you to track the life cycle of the project and all of its models. You get local workspace. You can check in and check out. Great document management. Automatic file versions. You get a master project database, user authentication, and access control. All of these things can be beneficial to the project you're working on, making it much easier for more than one person to be involved in the project, even at multiple locations. The project database in the local workspace is updated as you save files in the working folder. So then you have the project master base. It's always updated when you check in the files to the Vault. It's a little bit different from when you use Vault with some of the other programs such as AutoCAD and Inventor, and the main difference there is you still do a lot of your business within the project browser of Plant itself. So that's where you do a lot of opening and closing in files and saving. And you also get some great report generation for your line lists, your tie-ins, your valves, any of your equipment. You get great reporting. It's easy from your P&IDs, which are intelligent. You can get full bill of materials, and all your reporting capabilities are fully customizable. Your report creator is a tool for generating parts lists. You can get bill of materials, specification sheets. You get to use all your data from your P&ID or your Plant 3 drawings. And if your source models change, you always get updates. You can update the ortho drawings to reflect any of the changes. So these are just a few things that are available if you would decide to use Plant 3D for your piping needs. And feel free to give it a test run. Download a trial copy, download a trial suite, and see how it works for you. If you have any questions, comments, need any advice on anything, please give us a call here at D3 Technologies. I can be reached via email anytime. My email address, sean.button@d3tech.net. Really thanks for listening today, and I hope you jump on board and get involved with using Plant for your piping needs. Thanks.